Right now, you are changing, not in a loud way, but deeply, quietly, powerfully. Things that once affected you so strongly, no longer have the same power over you. The people who once controlled your emotions, don't affect you the same anymore. The situations that once broke your peace, now only teach you lessons. And even though the process feels confusing sometimes, something inside you knows, you are becoming different. Jesus is saying, my child, you are outgrowing the version of you that accepted pain as normal. You are no longer willing to chase people who ignore you, stay where you feel disrespected, beg for love, attention, or understanding, and that change is powerful, because growth does not always look exciting. Sometimes growth looks like walking away quietly, protecting your peace, saying no to what once hurt you. Jesus says, my child, healing changes your standards. Right now, you may feel disconnected from certain people, from old habits, from old versions of yourself, and part of you may wonder, why do I feel so different lately? Because you are evolving, you are no longer emotionally attached to things that once controlled you. And while that is healthy, it can also feel lonely for a while. Jesus is saying, my child, growth often requires separation. Because not everything can grow with you. Some people only fit your old life, some habits only fit your old mindset, some situations only existed to teach you lessons, and now, you are moving beyond them. At this stage, you begin choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, self-respect over emotional attachment, and because of that, your entire life starts changing. Jesus says, my child, the things you once cried over will soon no longer disturb your peace. One day, you will look back and realize, the pain that once felt unbearable actually transformed you. It made you wiser, stronger, more aware of your worth, and now, you are stepping into a new chapter, a healthier chapter, a more peaceful chapter, a chapter where you stop settling for less than you deserve. Jesus is saying, my child, this transformation is necessary. You are becoming who you were meant to be. If you feel yourself growing beyond old pain and stepping into peace, type Amen and embrace your transformation. Now, the changes inside you become more visible, not necessarily to everyone else, but to you. Jesus is saying, my child, healing begins quietly, before it changes your whole life. One of the first signs is this: you stop reacting the way you used to. Things that once made you emotional for days, now only affect you for moments. You no longer chase every explanation, you no longer fight for every connection, you no longer lose yourself trying to keep people, and that is growth. Jesus says, my child, peace becomes your priority when you are healing. Another sign: you enjoy being alone more than before, not because you hate people, but because you finally feel comfortable with yourself. You no longer need constant attention to feel valuable, you no longer depend on others to feel complete. And in that quiet space, you begin to understand yourself more deeply. Jesus is saying, my child, healing reconnects you with who you truly are. Another sign: you notice red flags faster, you stop ignoring what feels wrong, you stop making excuses for people who hurt you, because now, you trust your intuition more, you respect your boundaries more, you respect yourself more. Jesus says, my child, wisdom grows through what you survived. And another powerful sign: you stop forcing things, you stop chasing outcomes, you stop trying to control every situation, because deep inside, you are learning trust, trust in timing, trust in yourself, trust that what is meant for you will not need to be forced. Jesus is saying, my child, this emotional growth is preparing you for a healthier life. A healthier mindset, healthier relationships, healthier decisions, and slowly, your entire energy changes. You feel lighter, clearer, more grounded, because now, you are no longer surviving emotionally, you are healing emotionally, and that changes everything. If you feel yourself healing and emotionally evolving, type Amen and continue growing in peace. Now, something unexpected begins to happen. As you heal, as you grow, as you become more emotionally strong, people begin reacting to you differently. Some become closer, some become distant, some suddenly change their behavior toward you, and you may wonder why. Jesus is saying, my child. When you change your energy, your relationships begin to change too. Because healing changes what you accept, what you tolerate, what you allow into your life. Before, you may have ignored disrespect, ignored inconsistency, ignored emotional exhaustion, but now, you notice it immediately, and because of that, people can no longer access you the same way. Jesus says, my child. Not everyone will be comfortable with your growth. Some people benefited from the old version of you, the version that stayed silent, the version that overgave, the version that accepted less than they deserved. But now, you have boundaries, you have clarity, you have self-respect, and that changes everything. Jesus is saying, my child. Your healing will reveal who truly belongs in your life. Because the right people will respect your growth, support your peace, value your presence even more, but the wrong people may pull away, may act differently, may even become uncomfortable, not because you did something wrong, but because you changed, and growth always reveals truth. Jesus says, my child. Do not shrink yourself to keep people comfortable. You are not meant to stay emotionally broken, just so others can stay familiar with you. You are meant to heal, to evolve, to become stronger, and yes, that may change your relationships, but it will also protect your future, because now, you are attracting differently, choosing differently, living differently. Jesus is saying, my child. The more you heal, the more your life aligns with peace. If you are embracing your healing and protecting your peace, type Amen and continue growing. Now, after everything you've been through, after the pain, the confusion, the emotional exhaustion, something beautiful begins to appear in your life. Peace, not temporary happiness, not distractions, but real inner peace. Jesus is saying, my child. This is what happens when you stop carrying what was hurting you. Your mind becomes quieter, your heart feels lighter, you stop waking up anxious about people, you stop replaying painful conversations, you stop fearing abandonment every moment, because now, you are emotionally free, and that freedom changes how you live. Jesus says, my child. Healing is not just about recovering from pain, it is about discovering peace. At this stage, you no longer feel the need to chase validation, you no longer need constant reassurance, you no longer settle for chaos just to avoid loneliness. Instead, you choose calm environments, honest people, healthy connections, and because of that, your life begins to feel different, safer, softer, more stable. Jesus is saying, my child. The peace you protect today will shape the future you live tomorrow. You begin enjoying simple moments again. You laugh more naturally, you sleep more peacefully, you trust yourself more deeply, and slowly, you realize something powerful. The version of you that once begged for love would not recognize the strength you have now, because now, you know your worth, you know your boundaries, you know when to walk away, and that wisdom protects your peace. Jesus says, my child. This peaceful life is not accidental, you earned it through growth. Through every lesson, every heartbreak, every moment you chose healing instead of bitterness, and now, you are entering a new chapter, a chapter where your soul finally rests, a chapter where peace becomes normal, a chapter where you no longer abandon yourself for others. Jesus is saying, my child. This is the life I wanted you to discover. If you are ready to fully embrace peace and emotional freedom, type Amen and welcome this new chapter.